Hi everyone, welcome to my live creative time today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I have got some brand new products that are coming out actually tomorrow that we are going to be playing with today, so I'm very excited about this one. Now, while everybody is finding their notifications that I've gone live, I'm just going to bring this up on my other devices so that I can see everybody's comments there. So bear with me one moment while I get that ready and get my chair comfortable in the right position. It's got to be just in the right exact spot to be comfy. All right. Okay, so my iPad is all a go, and let's bring this up on my computer as well. Then if one crashes, I've still got the other one. Okay, now that just reminded me, I haven't actually plugged in my power cord, so let me do that now. I had it plugged into my iPad because my iPad was just about flat. So sorry about the bumping there. I've just plugged that into my phone that I'm recording on so that you don't lose me, or I don't lose you partway through. Okay, so we are bringing that up here on my computer. Let's do a refresh there on the screen. So as you're jumping on, say hi, let me know that you are here. If this is your first time watching with me, let me know where you're watching from. We always love to welcome new viewers. Okay, let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, just mute that. All good. Everything is all set up. Fantastic. Alrighty. Now, I apologize that I missed last week. We are a little bit crooked here. Let's just get that straightened up a tad. Come on, work with me. There we go. I think that's it. Yeah, apologies that I couldn't make it last week. I had been suffering from vertigo on the weekend prior to the Monday, and the Monday I was just wiped out. I just did not feel great at all, and very flat and fatigued. So I just took the day off, and then the rest of the week had been struggling with my neck. I'm still struggling with my neck. But anyway, long story short, you don't need all of my woes, but long story short, I did have a really bad water ski accident or fall about 20 years ago, and I got a very bad whiplash. In fact, at the time we thought that I might have actually broken my neck because I heard something crack when I fell, but it didn't break. I just had a really bad whiplash, and I've had a bad neck ever since. But as I'm getting older, it seems to be getting worse, and sometimes it just gets so bad that it starts giving me terrible headaches and I get migraines, and sometimes it triggers a bit of vertigo when it gets really, really bad. So I went back to the physio through the week, had some more treatment, which helped to settle it down, but usually a day or two after the treatment, it's usually pretty sore. But then eventually it settles down, and I think I probably need a second treatment again. Usually it takes a couple to get it to fully set. Well, it never fully settles. The pain is always there, but it's usually manageable. But yeah, I'm still struggling with it a little bit. So hopefully we'll get through okay. So I haven't been doing a lot of crafting in the last week. I did catch up with my team on Saturday, so that was really lovely. It's always a great afternoon when I gather together with my team. We always gather via Zoom because our team are spread all over the country, so that way everybody can join us. And we had a lovely afternoon together. I did make a few cards that day, but they were kit cards, so I didn't really have to think about it, and I could do them quite quickly. But yeah, that's all the crafting that I have done. So yeah, so we'll see how we go with today, but I'm very excited to share with you these brand new products. So what we're going to be playing with today is one of the suites from the brand new online exclusives, which are launching to everybody tomorrow on the 5th of November 2024. Yeah, so I hope that you will check those out when they launch tomorrow. Now, as demonstrators, we get to order them quite a bit earlier than everybody else. So we get our hands on them a little bit early. And I did order one of the suites, and I just hadn't had a chance to play with it yet though. So it's been sitting here on my desk waiting oh, I have used one of the papers though, because I used that in my daughter's 30th birthday card that you might have seen, the underwater card, the reef card that I made a couple of weeks ago. I did use one of the papers for the background for that, but that's all I've touched of it. So we're going to play with it today. So I'm really excited about that. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'll share that with you shortly. So that's what's coming up in this week. There are some other products that are going to be available as well during the online exclusives. There's another suite as well. If you love creating, well, there's lots and lots of different things that you can use this for. But if you love to create cards for Valentine's or just cards to tell people that you love them, then this other suite as well might be one for you. I forget what it's called. It's got really beautiful paper. What's the actual suite called? Marbled Elegance Suite Collection is what it's called. Sorry, I had to find the name for it. I don't have this one yet. This isn't the one we're playing with today, but this is one of the ones you can check out. And it's got this beautiful paper, which has got these marbled effects in pinks and reds, and there's gold throughout it. And it's really, really pretty. So it's got cherry cobbler, real red, melon mambo, flirty flamingo, petal pink and gold in the paper. It's really, really pretty. And then it's got some other products that coordinate with the suite as well. There's some beautiful gold heart embellishments. There's some gift bags, which are a bit hard to see on the flyer, but check those out. If these gift bags would be great for Christmas as well, coming up to Christmas, or even for birthdays. There's 2 sizes of the gift bags that come in the assortment pack. So check those out. They'll be really fantastic. I don't have those yet, but I was wondering if they might be thick enough that you can actually, like solid enough that you can actually punch holes in them and add some ribbon to create handles as well. Or you can fold the tops down and do some nice toppers on them, or all sorts of things. You could put tie the top down with ribbon, all sorts of things. So I was thinking I might get some of those. This gold twisted thread, I did get that. Oh, I should have pulled that out today. I've put that back up in the my box up the top, but I did get some of that because I always love a gold thread or a gold ribbon. So I did purchase that. That is beautiful. And then there's a stamp set and heart dies that coordinate with it as well, which are really, really beautiful. So that's just part of that suite. And then there's some other stamp sets as well. This one is one of the hybrid embossing folder, hybrid bundles. So it has the embossing folder, the dies, and the stamp set. And that's the Happy Hibiscus bundle. And I've seen a lot of demonstrators creating with that one, and it's really, really beautiful. So that one's very tempting as well. And there's a whole heap of other products as well that are releasing tomorrow on the 5th of November in the online exclusives as well. So be sure that you go and check them out. The one that we're using today is called the, what is it called? Otterly Adorable Suite, and it is all about otters. It is so cute. I'm going to show that to you in a moment when we tip the camera down onto the desk. But it is really, really an adorable suite, as the name says. And who doesn't love an otter? Because they're so cute. So, oh, hey, Rose. Hey, Leslie. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies. So because we are going to be creating with some marine animals today, I've got my little seal brooch on today. I was nearly going to wear my platypus one because even though we're playing with otters today, I thought, well, platypus kind of close. Not really, but they swim under the water. But I wasn't sure because my platypus brooch, I should have tried it, I suppose. My platypus brooch has got some mirrored acrylic in it, and I wasn't sure how that would go with the lights, if that would reflect the lights too much when I had the camera like facing me. So I thought, no, I'll wear my seal instead today. Yes, so we are going to be playing with that, so I'm really, really excited. So how was your weekend, ladies? Let me know about your weekend. Did you do something exciting or interesting, or did you just have a quiet one? Yesterday was a quieter day, so Saturday was with my team in the afternoon, so that was really lovely. And then yesterday was a quieter day, and just went to church in the morning and then came home, just did a little bit of reading, and then had a nap in the afternoon, then did a bit more reading. Yeah, so it was just a really quiet day. Sundays is my only day off usually through the week. I did kind of have some of Monday off as well because I didn't film and I wasn't feeling very well of last week. But yeah, so that kind of puts me behind the 8 ball then, because then I feel like I'm chasing my tail all week. But yeah, Sundays are usually my day off, so I try to relax a bit on Sundays. So yeah, and hubby went and played golf with his sister yesterday. So he went up north. He drove a few hours up north to his sister's and went and played golf with her. So they had a great afternoon together, which was lovely. And yeah, and he got home safely, so that was good. So any other news from anybody else? Anything you'd like to share? What have you all been crafting with lately? Let me know what you've been crafting with. Now, what I was going to say is, talking about the online exclusives, if you haven't checked out the online exclusive section in the Stampin' Up website, be sure to check that out. When you go into the website or the online store, if you click on the menu at the top, there's a list of different categories, and one of them is the online exclusives. Usually if there's new products, there'll be a promotion that will come up at on the landing page anyway, so you can just click on that promotion and it'll take you through to that page. But if you're looking for it via the menu, go to the menu and just scroll down, and you'll see online exclusive. There are so many products there in the online exclusives, and they are all products that you won't find in a catalogue, or that you can't purchase from a catalogue because they're all online. But you can purchase them from my online store. And as I said, all these new ones that are coming out, that'll be tomorrow, the 5th of November. And there's lots and lots of beautiful new products that are coming out, so make sure you check those out. Now, if you are shopping with me, if you're one of my customers, or if you'd like to become one of my customers, if you're here in Australia, you can shop with me 2 ways, either via my blog or via my Stampin' Up website. So there are the two places that you can go. My blog is mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, or my website, which is mandywitherby.stampinup.net. And then you just click on the shop button, which is at the top of each of those pages. So you can get to it either way. So yeah, and if there's ever anything that I can help you with, then please feel free to let me know. If you need catalogs or anything like that as well, please let me know. I am able to now start to do a mailing list for the upcoming January to April mini catalogue. So that's going to be the next one that's coming, as well as Celebration. So if you are not a customer yet of mine and you are here in Australia, or you don't have a demonstrator that you're already working with and you'd like a copy of that, let me know, because I can add you to the mailing list. I'll just need to get some information from you so that I can mail that out to you. If you are one of my customers and you've shopped with me in the last 6 or so months, then I will automatically already order one for you and have that shipped out. They won't ship out the mailing, what they call the mailing selector here in Australia. They will close that off at the end of November, so the catalogues won't actually be sent out until December, but you will have them before they launch, before it launches in January. So it'll probably get to you probably sometime later in December, mid to late December, I would think. So yeah, so let me know anyway if you would like more information about that or anything else, and I'd be happy to help you. Alrighty, well, we might get started. I think that's all I've got to share with you for the moment. I've probably forgotten lots of things because you know, you kind of miss a week filming and you feel like you've been away forever. So it's hard to get back into the rhythm again. But yeah, all right, well, I'm going to put the camera down onto the desktop so that I can show you what we're going to be creating with today, and I think you'll really love it. It's really, really gorgeous. So I'm going to cover up the camera so I don't make you all dizzy, so bear with me, but don't go anywhere, and I will get the camera set up ready for you. Here we go. Okay, is anyone crafting along with me today? Okay, this might be a little bit squeaky while I just tighten up these clamps really well. It's been tending to drop a bit lately if I don't do them up tight enough. So I'll make sure I get them done up nice and tight today. And try to get this level. Let's see how we went. How straight did I get it today? Oh, pretty good actually. That's pretty straight. All right, one thing I didn't do was I didn't put the pathways down in the comments. So let me just do that for you now. So that if you are looking for anything, if you're looking for my newsletter, perhaps if you'd like to subscribe to my newsletter, you can do that so that I can keep you up to date. If you want to request a catalogue, etc. I'll just find, hang on a minute, I've got to find where it is now. Oh, here we go. There we go. I do need to, okay, I'll just pop that there in the comments for you. Okay, good. So if you're looking for any of the pathways to any of my social media, to my newsletter, to any of those sorts of things, you can click on that pathway that I just popped there in the comments. Okay, I'll move my keyboard out of the way so we don't need that now. And let me show you, oh, actually, I'll move that flyer too. I showed you that one. Let me show you these gorgeous products. So this is the suite. It's called the Otterly Adorable Suite collection. And there are a few products that are in this collection. And as you can see, they are super duper cute. How adorable are these little otters? Now the stamp set itself and the dies, they're called Otterly Amazing, but the whole suite collection is named after the paper. All of the suites are always named after the coordinating paper, and that's the Otterly Adorable designer series paper. So it's Otterly Adorable Suite. But let's start with the stamp set. It is super, super cute. I'll put all of these other items over to the side for the moment. So this is the stamp and die bundle. Now, the images that you see here, they are at 100%. We do have the coordinating, sorry, my light is going to reflect off the case there. We do have coordinating dies for each of the stamped images there. And then you've got some additional dies as well. So we've got a log. We've got some little rocks, we've got some fish, some bubbles, we've got lots of different seaweed here, some extra fish here, some bigger ones. And then this one, which is really interesting, it looks like a road or a pathway or a river, but it actually cuts slits into the paper so that you can slip your little otters into the slits so that they look like they're actually in the water rather than sort of like on top of the water kind of thing. They look like they're actually sitting, you know, in the water. Or yeah, I'll try to use that today to show you. Remind me if I don't, because then we'll just do a little sample. I'm not sure if I'll be using, yeah, I'm not sure yet how we're going to use this one today, because the one that I'm creating today, is going to have the otters actually sitting out of the water, not in the water. So, but we might do a little sample. So yeah, so they coordinate beautifully together. Now the dies, of course, some of these dies do cut out some of the designer series papers as well. So I'll show you which ones they coordinate with. So it is a photopolymer stamp set. They're all clear stamps, so you can easily see where you're stamping. When you receive your stamps, just like any other photopolymer stamp set from Stampin' Up, they come between two window sheets, a heavier one, which is this one, and a lighter weight one. I've already taken them off there. I've cleaned all of the stamps today and I've stuck them into the case because the images are printed in the inside of the case. So you can just put them straight into the case. And then I like to just put this heavier weight window sheet over the top just to protect them. You don't need to add that if you don't want to. You could leave that off, but I like to just to help protect the photopolymer a little bit more. Okay. All right, so that's the Stampin' dies. Then we've got the embellishments. So we've got this beautiful Lost Lagoon soft cording. Now, I don't know that we've had a soft cording like this before, or maybe not for a very long time anyway, but it is a cord, and it is sort of silky, like satiny, and it is very soft. It ties a nice bow. So I'll show you that there. So you get a really nice bow from that. So it's very easy to tie. And yeah, we're going to use some of that today in our project. And then we've got these beautiful embellishments, which are the Riverside Irregular Pearls. If you've got the other pearls that we have, these are a little bit different. They're smaller and they're flatter. So I really like that. And you've got them in the 3 colors there, which probably on camera they don't come up as well as what they do in real life, but they're all iridescent. You see all these different colors coming off them. Yeah, they're really, really beautiful. So we're definitely going to be using some of those today. All right. And we have the beautiful paper. Now you can see I've cut some of this paper, so that's the one I had used for my daughter's card. So this is the Otterly Adorable 12 by 12 designer series paper. And I'm going to show you each one of these sheets. So you've got lots of scenes in this paper as well. So even if you didn't want to buy the stamps, you could make beautiful cards just with the papers, because you can cut these images out. Some of them, not these ones on this page particularly, but some of the other ones you can die cut as well. So if you want the dies, yeah, but you can just cut these out and make beautiful scenery just with these. So they, as you can see, they're really, really cute. Okay, so I'll show you, so you get 2 sheets of each. So I'll show you the front and the back. That's the back side of that one. So you've got all the little fishies there. So I'll turn that over there. Now this one is a large scenery piece, and this one would be really great for a scrapbooking page. Or if you don't want to use it for a scrapbooking page, you can cut this one up and use it as individual scenes on cards as well. I would probably cut it across here and then maybe across here. So you've got the 3 different sections, and then cut it into smaller segments as needed, or depending on which part of it you want to use. But it's a really, really cute scene on that page. On the other side of that page, we've got these stones or river pebbles. They're really beautiful as well. Lots and lots of different colors in there, but really cool. They would make a great background as well for any project, not just for with this particular suite necessarily. These ones here are really cute. And I'm just wondering if these are some of the ones that the dies cut out. Let me see. No, I don't think so. Not these ones. I'll just pull the dies out so that I can see which ones we have. I don't think the dies cut out these ones, but you could easily fussy cut them, or you could even use one of your shape dies, like a round die or even a tag die. I've actually got some tags sitting here. Let's see. So even if you had like a tag die, you could cut out maybe one of the smaller ones. You could cut out the scene with a tag die and put that on your card. Like that would look really, really cute. So I just happened to have these here because I was trying to have a play with them last night, but what I was trying to do wasn't working, and then I just needed to go to bed. So, but yeah, so you can see that you can do lots of different things. So any solid shape dies would work. If you've got the circles or squares, if you've got the stylish shape dies, they would go really well as well. On the other side, you've got this one here. It's kind of like a marbled look, but it kind of makes me think about mud as well, like maybe on the banks of the river or something like that. But really cool background. Then this is the water one that I used on my daughter's card. This is really beautiful paper. It makes great water background scenes. And then I think some of these ones are the ones that the dies might cut out. How cute are these little otters? They're so, so adorable. So let's have a look. So we've got this die here. Yep, that'll cut out this little one. And this one will cut this one. And we've got this little guy here. So we can cut that little one out there too. So you can cut those ones out. So yeah, so those ones on this page can be die cut with the dies. So that's really great. And they are just so cute. Look at their little faces. I love little otters. Has anybody seen otters in real life? I have. I was talking to my girls about it recently, trying to remember where it was that we saw them, whether or not it was... might have been Australia Zoo. Has anybody else been to Australia Zoo and seen up in the Sunshine Coast in Queensland? Do they have otters? I'm thinking it's either there or Symbio, but I don't think Symbio down here in New South Wales, just south of Sydney, has otters. So I think it might have been Australia Zoo, but I could be wrong. Then we've got another beautiful background with some of that seaweed. And on the other side, we've got this really beautiful pool party water look. So again, it's a little bit like a marbled effect. So you could use that for water, or you could use that for other kinds of backgrounds as well. That's really, really pretty. And then we've got some more little playful otters. And I love this one with the little baby on its tummy. It's so super cute. Yeah, see, these are great for scenes. So you can just cut that out. You can just cut that, even fussy cut that, or you can cut that with your trimmer and just make that a scene on your card as well. So these are great papers for creating scenes. And then that's the other side of it with the seaweed and the little fishies. So I think I've missed one of the ones that can be die cut with the larger die. Maybe it's one of these ones. I'm not sure. Is it this? No, not that page. It's not that page because they're smaller images. There is, I'm sure that there was another one that could be die cut with the larger die that has the two. Is it this one? Maybe it's this one. Yeah, it might be this one. I think I might have missed that one. Is it this one? Yes, that one. So that one can be die cut with that large die as well. So those dies and those shapes printed on the paper that die cut, they're the same images as what you have in the stamp set. But then the stamp set's got the sentiments as well, and you've got the additional fish, the bubbles, the seaweed, So it just depends if you want to use the, oh, I've got a hair caught in my stamp case. If you want to use the dies with the paper, or if you want to stamp and colour your own little otters, then you can use the stamp set as well. So lots and lots of options. So I love sets that have lots of options. Oh, you think you saw them in Queensland too, Rose? Okay, cool. So it must be Australia Zoo that has them then. I know that SeaWorld don't have them because my daughter works there, so they definitely don't have them at SeaWorld. So it must be Australia Zoo. That's the only other place that I've been with the kids that I know I was with them when I saw them. So, yeah. Oh, thanks for that, Rose. Now I haven't made, I probably am going to end up putting these onto magnetic sheets because I think they're ones that I'm going to be accessing fairly regularly. And I don't know how I'm going to fit these back on. Oh, there we go. Got them back on there. Okay. Oh, back onto the cardboard sheet that they come in. I usually, ones that have a lot of dies like this, or ones that I'm using frequently, I put onto magnetic sheets that I just buy the magnet sheets off eBay, and then I cut them down to size. And then that way, and then I trace around them so I know where they fit back on. And then that way it's much easier and quicker just to get them on and off. Oh, there you go. Amber said she just looked up the Australia Zoo website and they have Asian small-clawed otters, the smallest of 13 species. There you go. They would have been the ones that we saw. Fantastic. Yes, I remember that they were quite small. They were so adorable. Really, really cute. All right. So what we're going to do today is we are actually going to stamp our otters. So we're going to stamp them onto some basic white. Now, in this designer series paper, there are lots and lots of colours. This is just some of the colours. There are more than that in the designer series paper, but these are the main ones that I'll be using, or that I thought that I might use today. So we've got Lemon Lime Twist, Old Olive, Garden Green, Balmy Blue, Pool Party, Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, Crumb Cake, and Pecan Pie. But there's some other colours as well that are in the DSP. There's some of the greys that I probably won't be using. They've got grey granite and basic grey. There's also Early Espresso, which we are going to stamp in. And Calypso Coral was the other one that I didn't pull out because I thought I probably won't use that one. But we'll pull out some white and we are going to stamp some of these cute little otters. I'm going to start with these ones here because I think these ones are going to be the main feature of our project today. So I'm going to put them down on some cardstock just because they're photopolymer and I want them to relax into their natural shape so that I can, I don't bend them out of shape or anything weird because I want to be able to die cut them. I am going to use, now they won't fit on a standard D block. The D block is the one that fits the majority of our stamps, but this one is a little bit too big. So I've sized up to the I block, which is one of the longer blocks. Now, if you don't have an I block, you might have this one, which is a great one to have in your inventory as well. This is the E block. The E block is a lovely big, I'll show you the comparison. So that's that one, and that's the standard D block. So you can see that it's quite a bit, you've got quite a bit more area there. So any that don't fit on the D block will usually fit on this one. This one here being the I block, it's a longer block. So some of those longer, if you're doing borders or longer sentiments, they'll often fit on that one. So there are a couple of good blocks to have in your stash, and you can find them in the online store. If ever you need to know where anything is, if you can't find it in the online store, just feel free to ask me and I can let you know where to find them. Or if you just type in the search bar at the top of the online store, just type in clear blocks and they'll all come up there with the sizes that are currently available. Okay, so this is the one we're using today. I'll put these other ones aside. All right, and we are going to stamp in Early Espresso. Oh, actually, we might stamp in, Do I want to stamp in early espresso or basic grey? I think I'll stamp in early espresso because we are going to be colouring them in brown tones. You could, if you wanted to, colour them in, oh look at this, it's all grotty. You could stamp it in basic grey, or you could even stamp it in Memento Tuxedo Black if you wanted to as well. So I'll just ink up this stamp. Now all of your stamps, when they are brand new, it is a good idea to give them a clean on your Stampin' Chamois first, and then ink them up, and then dry them off, and then that should condition them ready to go. They come with a little bit of manufacturing oils on them, so sometimes when they're first new, they like to repel the ink, so it is important to clean them when you first get them. That's mainly for the photopolymer ones. I don't find the same problem with the red rubber cling stamps, although I do tend to clean most of, whoops, I need to clean this first. I do tend to clean my stamps before I use them, usually anyway, just to be sure. So give that a clean on my chamois. Believe it or not, I did clean my chamois today. It is stained, as you can see, but I do have a clean side as well, a cleaner side. It's not super clean, but because the ink does go through. But I always like to have a clean side as well so that I can make sure that I do get all of that ink off. Yeah, so they do stain, but they still clean your stamps beautifully. So there we go. And then I will usually dab that off on scrap paper, which I don't have out. Let me grab some scrap paper. Usually dab that off just to dry them on some clean paper. All right. There we go. So there's our cute little otters. Now, what we're going to do is I am going to cut this in half. So I'll just cut this at 10.5, being careful not to, I should have done that beforehand, but that's okay. I'm just going to let that ink dry for a little bit before we start to colour. We'll put that over to the side. Now, the other thing that I want to do is I want to create my background, and I'm not sure what colour card base I'll have yet, if I'm just going to go with the white or if I'll do a colour. So I'm going to decide on that in a little bit, but I'll bring in the paper that we're going to use from the set, and we're going to use, let me find it, this one here. Okay, so when I get my 12 by 12 papers, I usually like to cut them in half and store them that way before I start chopping into them. But I always like to check what's on the other side, and I look at the direction of the patterns that are on the paper. Now, interestingly with this one, because we've sort of got the water paper, it looks like it's flowing that way. So it looks like it's going across that way. Whereas with, so more sort of like a horizontal design, whereas this side is more of a, well, I guess you could have it either way. You could have it as horizontal, but to me the design looks like it's more vertical, but depends on how you use it. So if I want to create, for this card today, we're creating a landscape card, so I want to have long panels. So if I cut it this way, if I cut it in half this way, then that means I could use this way, and I could get 3 card fronts from each side. So I get a total of 6 card fronts. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to cut this in half. Now on my Stampin' Up! Trimmer, with the arm of the trimmer closed, so this is the arm here, with that fully closed, when I have my paper along the top edge and along that left-hand edge, that now brings the paper to the 6-inch mark on the trimmer, okay, which is exactly half of the 12 by 12 sheet. So then I will just cut it that way. And now I can turn my paper this way to create my, my cuts this way for my horizontal cards or my landscape cards. Now for this one, I just want 10.1 centimeters. Okay. And then I am just going to trim this down to 14.45. That'll give me a nice 2mm border on the front of my card. Okay, so that's my piece. And then if I want to do some more card fronts, I can still cut 2 more from that and 2 more from that. Or if you want to do a portrait card, you could cut this down to portrait. You'd have some strips left on the side, but you can use them for decorative elements on other projects. Or the other piece of this, because remember you get 2 pieces in each pack, you could cut that one the opposite way. So then you'd have some sheets for landscape cards and some for portraits orientation. So depending on which way you want to do it, but this is how I like to do it to maximize the use of the paper. All right, now this little strip here, I might keep this because we might decorate the inside of the card with that piece. Okay. All right, so that's the first thing. Now we're going to need a piece. Oh, that's my scrap paper. Move that over to the side. I thought that was my cardstock then. We're going to need a piece of the white cardstock for the front. So we're going to create a little scene. Now I haven't worked out the dimensions for this yet, but I'm thinking it'll probably be, I want to have a nice wide border around that. Now if you've got dies, if you've got the rectangle dies, either the deckled or the old stitched rectangles, you could certainly cut a rectangle using your dies from that. In fact, I might even have a look at the rectangle dies that I've got, because we might even do that rather than trim it with my paper trimmer. We might see which dies I've got. So hang on, let me grab those. Okay, so I've got a few different ones here. We've got the deckled rectangle dies. We've got the radiating stitches dies, and then we've also got this one, but I'm not sure if this one will be big enough. This one is the everyday detail dies, but I love that this has got the cut out circles around the edges, because I sort of thought that might look a little bit like bubbles, but I'm just not sure if that's going to be big enough. I think that'll be a bit too small, but we might have a look and see. Yeah, so we've got the circles in there as well, but we do want a rectangle today. Now this one, this cuts around this size here, so yes, I think that's going to be a little bit too small for what we want for this project. But that might be good for a different one with this suite. Okay, so we won't use that one. Maybe this one, the radiating stitches, might be good. That one might be... Let's have a look. That one might be a little bit too small as well. Might just be a little bit too small. I might just go with the deckled, actually. The deckled rectangles. I loved, my favourite ones were the old stitched rectangles, but they're no longer available, unfortunately. I used to love them. But yeah, if you don't have the dies, you can just cut a simple... you can just cut a simple rectangle with your trimmer. All right, now let's see which size would be, I think we need to go bigger. I think that one would be a good size. We'd still see, yeah, I think that one would be the right size for what we want. Okay, we might go with that one. All righty. So this one, just to give you an idea, is, let me grab my ruler and I'll tell you how big this one is. If you're just cutting a rectangle. So if I measure the cutting edge, it's 11 centimeters. by 7.6. Yeah, about 7.6 centimeters. Okay, so 11 by 7.6. But I'm just going to run that through the die cutting machine because that'll be a lot quicker. Well, I mean, I could cut it, but, you know. So I'll just run that through my large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. There we go. All right. Now, I didn't because I was in a rush, but if you lined that up squarely on your cardstock, you could then use that piece as a frame over an element on your card, like a detailed focal image on your card. But I didn't do that because I was in a hurry. But that's just an idea. All right. So there we go. So then we'll have that on there. Great. And then our little otters are going to go on there too once we've coloured them in. All right. So we're going to create the background first. We're still waiting for our little otters should be dry by now, so we can probably start colouring them in shortly. But I'm just going to create a bit of background. So we're going to use some of that Balmy Blue. Now I pulled out all of the ink pads for the colours that were in the paper. We've got Balmy Blue and Pool Party, but I think I'm going to go with the Balmy Blue. You could always combine them as well if you wanted to and do a little bit of both, but I think I'm going to go with the Balmy this time. And I've got my blending brushes here. So I'll bring in my blue blending brush and I'll just pick up some ink. I'm going to blend some blue down along the bottom here. So when you're blending with the ink, you've probably heard me saying this. If you watch me frequently, you've probably heard me say this a lot of time. Load up your brush with your ink. I always like to either dab it on the edge or start my rotation. So you use a circular motion, start my rotations off the page so that you don't get really heavy splodges of ink coming onto your piece, and then bring the colour over onto your piece that you're colouring. Okay, and we'll start in from each side so that we make sure that we get an even coverage of ink. I'll come up from the bottom a bit so we've got a bit more in the middle there. And you can just keep adding until you get the desired depth of colour. Now over the top here, I'm just going to go with what's left on the brush, just to add a little bit of colour so that it's soft, but it's not as deep as the water down here. So it's sort of a little bit like sky, like soft sky, and this is the water. Just take a bit off the brush, bring it back over the top there. Okay, and I am just using a little bit of pressure. I like to hold my my blending brush. Different people hold it different ways. Some people like to hold the head like that. I like to put my finger on the back of it to apply pressure because they are quite pliable. So I like to hold the brush like that and then just use my index finger to apply the pressure. Okay, so that's all we're going to do with that piece there. We'll pop that ink away. And we're going to do a little bit of colouring now with our, so we'll put this one to the side. We're going to do a little bit of colouring now with our cute little otters. Now I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Have you all got your cuppers today? I forgot to ask you that. I've got my my French Earl Grey today with almond milk. and it's just the right temperature. Okay, so now for colouring our little otters. I haven't pulled out any colours yet, but I do have my colour chart. Now, if you are looking for Stampin' Blends colour charts that you can make yourself, Di Barnes is a demonstrator in Australia, and she has these colour charts free to download from her blog. If you're looking for them, you can go to Di Barnes's blog, and I'm just going to have a look to see, put my glasses on to see if it says on the bottom. If you go to dianebarnes.blogspot.com, and she has all of these on her blog that you can download, and then you can, with any of the Stampin' Blends that you have, you can then colour in your colour chart. One, you can see what colours you have, and two, then you've got a colour sample that you can refer back to. And Amber and I refer back to this all the time, so it's really, really handy to have. All right, so I think I'm going to take this out of the plastic actually, so that I can, I've got all the old ones in here too, so that I can refer to the colours that we're going to use today. So I'm going to go by the colours that are in the suite, and the colours that sort of the otters look like in the DSP. So I think Pecan Pie would be a good one. So I'll find the Pecan Pie ones on my shelf. No, that is Copper Clay. Pecan Pie will be nearby. There it is. Okay, so I've got the Pecan Pie. These, if you're not used to Stampin' Blends, these are beautiful to colour with, and you don't, sorry, my hair just got in camera. These are beautiful alcohol-based markers, and they blend together beautifully. They give a really soft effect, and they're really, really nice to colour with. You don't need to have experience. You don't need to be, you know, an artist or anything like that to colour with these. I'm not an artist. I don't have any qualifications. I can't paint or draw or anything like that, but I love to colour with these. It's really, really easy to colour with them. Okay, so we might colour the other one a little bit different in tone, and I might go with the, so that the two little otters are different colours slightly. I might use for the other one the medium tone blends. So that's going to be the SU 400 and the 300. So let's see if I can find them. 400 and 300. That's 900. Sorry, I'm having to reach right over. I didn't pull these out ahead of time. Okay, so there's the 300 and the 400. So that's the, which ones did I say? The medium tones, the medium tones. So in the natural tone blends, so there's all the different colours. So you've got all your regular colours. The blends don't come in every single colour, but they're in most of the colours. But then you've got the natural tones range as well, and they come in deep, medium, medium light, and light. But they, in each of those, they also have a number on them. So if ever you're unsure, feel free to ask me, or you can look up this chart on dianebarnes.blogspot.com and download that. I printed mine onto heavyweight cardstock. Well, no, I think this is standard weight actually. I think this is standard weight cardstock, so it went through my printer, and then I just colour in the little boxes. Well, usually Amber does that for me actually. All right, so we're going to also need some colours for our greenery here. So we're going to want some garden green and old olive. Well, actually, let's have a look at the colours that are in the DSP. So we've got, that looks like old olive, and then this one looks like, this one might be Lost Lagoon. So we might use, let's see, do we have Lost Lagoon? Do we have Lost Lagoon? I don't think there's a Lost Lagoon. Oh yes, there is Lost Lagoon. So we might grab Lost Lagoon and the old olive. Take my glasses off this time so I can see what I'm reaching for. There's the old olive, and Lost Lagoon will be this one. Yep, there we go. Sorry, I'm looking at them upside down, but there we go. So we've got each colour comes with light and dark. So even in the natural tone blends, they come with a lighter and a darker tone. Okay, glasses on, and let's start with our little otters first. Okay, so I'll move this up a little bit so you can see that. Always a good idea to have some scrap paper under you when you are colouring with your Stampin' blends, because they are alcohol based. They are going to bleed through the cardstock, so you want to protect your desktop. Now I'm going to start with the dark first, and I'm going to colour this little one here, and I'm going to just lay down a little bit of dark where I think that there will be shadows. So of course there's going to be shadows here from the other little otter. We'll have some shadows on the tummy. There's probably going to be shadows on the tail there. It doesn't really matter. Like, you can put them wherever you think. Where there's a little detail here, see how there's this little detail here? That's probably where I would lay down the darker colour, where you can see the detail on the image. But it's wherever you feel that there might be a little bit of shadowing. So we lay down a little bit of dark colour first. While that is still wet, we're going to take in the light colour. I might just test it a little bit up here first. Yep. And then we're just going to go around the edge of that dark colour and then bring that in to blend that dark colour in with the lighter colour, but then you're going to get that tone between the light and the dark. So we'll bring that dark from the tail, just going over that and just blending that back in to the light. I like to use a circular motion most times when I'm colouring with the blends. I just find that it gives a nice soft effect. And the more you go over it, the darker the colour will be, because you're adding more colour on top. There we go. So that little otter came out quite dark. Just go around the edges there again. So that one's quite dark. I think the next one will be, the other little one will be quite a bit lighter. You can always go back in and add more tone if you want to. It just depends on how much sort of tone you want to have in there. I might add a little bit more of the dark. I don't want this little one to get too dark though. Actually, you know what I might do? I might use a colour lifter too. Rather than go darker for the shadowing, I might lighten some of the other areas with the colour lifter. So we have this colour lifter. It comes separately on its own, and you can actually lighten areas of your image. It just shifts the colour. Oh, it's drying out a little bit. It's drying out. It's actually leaving it streaky. Now let me try the other end. I'll just see if I can fix that. I might need to stamp another one. I might have just wrecked that with, I think this is getting a bit dry. I'll just see if I've got another one up in my container. Just one sec. I'll grab that. I have a whole heap of spare ones up here too. There's no colour lifter in that one, and I've got a few in my pencil case as well. I don't know if I have a spare colour lifter. Oh dear, I don't. Okay, well, I wonder if, is that one dark? No. I wonder if one of the other lighter colours might do the same thing. It's just a bit streaky because part of the this is drying out. Part of the brush is dry. I'll have to buy a new one. See if I can fix this a bit here. Oh, that's annoying. And it's still looking streaky. Okay, I think I'll have to redo that one because that I'm just wondering if one of the lightest colors, if I could do that with, let me see, SU1000. I wonder if this would lighten it. I don't know. I'll give it a go and see what that would look like. You can blend different colors with your Stampin' blends, so you don't have to always stay within the same tone. I just wondered if, oh, actually, this might work. So this one is the SU1000. It's from the light tones in the natural tones blends. And this one just might work well enough to lighten that a little bit. There we go. I thought we had 3 color lifters as well, Amber. I don't know where the other ones are. They're not on the shelf and they're not in the spare sets. So this is the only one I can find. I don't know where the other ones would be. Having a look on my shelf if they're in a different spot. They're not on any of the other shelves, no. I don't know. No, this is the only one I can find. So I'll have to get a new one. Anyway, I was able to lighten it with this one. So that's kind of worked out okay. It's not too bad. Might lighten that face a little bit. So you can see by lightening the, putting the lighter colour over the top, it's kind of shifting the other darker colour. That's actually turned out to be quite a nice colour. I like that. So that was the pecan pie with the SU1000 over the top. And I like how that colour has turned out. Just gone a little bit out of the lines here. So I'll use the bullet tip of my, hang on, let me put my glasses back on. The bullet tip of my colour lifter to just push that colour back inside the line. So see how I'm angling the tip. I just don't know if it's too dry though, if it's going to work. It is a bit dry. I'm just using the bullet tip to just push that colour back towards the line. So if you go out of the lines a little bit, you can do that with your colour lifter. There we go. Oh, that little one's turned out to be quite a nice colour actually. All right, let's try this other colour and see how this one turns out. So this one is going to be, so this is the 600, no, hang on, which one did I pick up? The medium, 600 and 500. No, I've got the 300 and the 400. Wait, which ones did I pick up? Oh, I picked up the medium deep. I might actually change that and go for the medium. So I might get the 600 and 500. Yeah, I think we'll go for the medium instead. Yep, that's those two there, 600 and 500. Just make this one a little bit lighter. So that's still wet there at the moment. That's going to dry. I'm not too worried because we are going to die cut that anyway. 600, okay. So we'll start with the 600. Let's check that colour. Yep, so it's going to be a little bit different. So we'll put some of this down here on his little chest, on these little lines here, his little legs and the belly. do the tip of his tail too, his or her. Don't know if it's a him or a her. And we'll put a little bit down here. There'll be a bit of shadowing there from the reeds there. Okay, and then we're going to use the SU 500 to colour. Oh, this is more the colour that I wanted. This is similar to the colour that we ended up with over here now. There we go. So going over that dark colour again and just drawing that back in to the rest of the image, just to soften those edges so that you don't see those harsh lines. When you are going near the edges though, because these are alcohol markers, the alcohol does tend to keep absorbing into the cardstock. So just be very careful when you go close to the lines that you don't go too much, because it will bleed out of the lines. But again, if they do bleed out of the lines a little bit, you can then use the colour lifter to shift the colour back inside the lines. But again, we're die cutting this, so I'm not too worried. This one, because I worked it so much with the additional colour, this one has bled out a little bit more than what I would normally like. I really like that colour. So the 500 and 600, they worked really well together for this little one here. So I love the colour that one turned out. It turned out really, really nicely. So love that. Might put down a little bit more of the 600, which is the darker colour. Just around the where there'd be a little bit of that shadowing. Just to give a bit more tone, because he's all very, very much one colour. And if you lay those additional colours down while the ink is still wet, they're going to blend together much, much nicer. There we go. You can always go back over them a little bit with the lighter colour just to soften them down a bit. You really can work these as much or as little as you like. Just depending on the look that you're sort of going for. Yeah, there we go. Blend that up there a little bit. Good. Okay. All right. So we've still got a little bit of bleeding on this one. I'm going to see if I can push that back in a bit more with the colour lifter. With my dry old colour lifter that's not really working terribly well because it's so dry. Let's try and push that colour back in. Inside the lines a bit there. Okay, good. All right, so we'll colour the reeds now. The little ones are going to be in, I'm just going to do the light old olive to start with. Yep, it's like the colour of the light old olive. Might add just a dab of the dark old olive for a bit of tone, but it doesn't matter so much on these little foliage pieces because they're so small in, the detail is quite fine. So just colour them, just using the bullet tip this time rather than the brush tip. The bullet tip is best to use for smaller areas that you're colouring. And I'm just using a very, very light touch, like I'm hardly touching the tip of that to the cardstock. I'll just add a little bit of the dark just at the base of each of those little leaves. You could leave them just as they are, just in the light colour if you wanted to, but I'm just adding this just to add a little bit of tone. There, it does make a difference. If I show you, I'll hold it up and I'll show you the difference between the ones that have got the dark and the ones that have just got the light, and you can probably see the difference. You see the difference there? And can you see now how that colour lifter has pushed that colour, or a lot of, I've still got probably a little bit, there's probably a little bit there still to work with, but it's pushed most of that colour back inside the lines. So it's not as, you might not have been able to tell before how out of the lines it was, but it was quite a bit, it had gone out of the lines quite a bit. There we go, so we'll just add this in here. Just a tiny little spot of colour. There we go. And finally, we will add, just put those two away so I don't get mixed up with which colours I used. Finally, we will add, I think we're going to go with the light Lost Lagoon, just to these reeds here. Again, very, very light touch. Hardly touching the nib to the cardstock at all, just to get that tiny bit of colour in there like that. There we go. All right, so put all of the colours that we used over there, so I've got those as a reference for later on. Okay, so we've got a little bit more here. So these colours will continue to dry, so they do stay wet for a little bit, and they do dry fairly quickly because they are alcohol, and the alcohol, or the alcohol based, and the alcohol does evaporate, but sometimes they can you just need to give them a little bit of time just to dry if you're working with them, especially like with the color lifter. You'll see that kind of lighten as it dries. There we go. So I've worked that in a little bit more now. So that should be good. Once we die cut that should be all good. Okay, great. Aren't they just so adorable? So, so cute. All right, now let's bring in our die. So it's this big one here. And we're going to line that up around there. And I will use some washi tape today. So I want that to stay put and not move anywhere. So line that up snug around the image. Just get that lined up well. Okay, and pop that on there. One thing I might just do before I do that, I might actually trim the cardstock down a little bit so I can put that through my mini machine. So it'll be easier than my large machine, because then I can bring that over to the desktop. So just make sure I've got enough room around that die. Yeah, so I can cut that about there. That way too, I'm utilising my cardstock because I can use this for stamping smaller images or for stamping sentiments, and I'm not wasting a whole heap of cardstock. Okay. So we'll do that again now. Oh, I'll just show you the back actually. So see how the ink has come through the back? Now, when you're laying colours on top of colours on top of colours, the more ink you're going to get coming through. So you can see there's not much that's come through. Well, we didn't lay down very much anyway on the foliage, but on this one in particular, this is the one that I was adding the additional colours to. So you can see how much ink has come through to the back of the cardstock. So very, very important to protect your work surface when you're colouring with the blends. Okay, so let's do this again. So just line that up around our little image. You want to make sure that you take the time to line it up well, because you've taken all that time to colour your image, that you don't want to have the die misaligned and have to start from scratch. So there we go. All right, I'll grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is my little mini. Okay. We'll die cut that one. Beautiful. Look at that. So that's gorgeous. That turned out really well. They're just so cute, aren't they? All right, so just take that die out. Might keep those end bits of the cardstock too for sentiments. The die back on my die sheet. Now I was thinking I might cut a log as well. I hope to be able to fit a log on this card too. So I might cut out one of these logs here. And I think we're going to need some additional foliage. So I think I'll die cut some of these as well while we're at it. Oh, these are very sticky when you first get them. If you have trouble getting your dies off your die sheets when you get them, the best thing to do is to peel the backing paper away from the die so that you don't bend the die. Don't try and like pull your die up that way, because you might bend it. Okay, there we go. Oh, and I was going to do some of the rocks as well. I love these little rocks, so we'll try and do some of those as well. There we go. I'm definitely going to have to put these on magnetic sheets because they're going to keep on wanting to come off. Okay. All right, we'll put our little otters over to the side. They are looking very cute. Now we need some cardstock for these. So I've got some pecan pie here. I might actually grab what am I trying to say? I might grab some scraps in the colors that I want to use. So I'm going to do pecan pie. We're going to do some crumb cake. And for these ones, I think we'll do the same colors. We might do some in, we might do the opposite. So we might do these in the old olive, and we might do these ones in, well, actually, just thinking. So I'm having a look at what's on the paper. So we've got a little bit of Pool Party and Lost Lagoon. We could do some different colors actually. Let's grab some scraps of those ones. All right. There's some crumb cake. Oh no, that one's got folds in it, so we can't use that one. Okay, so I've got lots of crumb cake scraps, but a lot of these have got score lines in them. So these must have been offcuts of other projects. And I don't think the log will fit on any of those. So let's turn over and see if I've got some other bigger scraps. There's one. Okay, good. We can use that one. So we'll use that one. Oh, that's not for the logs anyway. That's for the, oh, actually, that's for the rocks. So the rocks will actually fit on those small sections. So we can use that. It's the pecan pie I need for the log. It's a scrap of pecan pie that we can use for the log. And we'll use some of these for the, we'll just snip that. Yep, we can use those for the rocks. In fact, we can just use one section. We might do multiples. So they'll fit on there. We've got the log we can put on there. I might actually even cut that. I think we'll probably only do one log, but let's save this because we might do another log for another project. We've got some flowers stamped on there from a different project. They can be cut out. Okay, and then we need some colours for these. So what are we thinking? Let's go with some, we might do some pool party. I wonder about pool party and, or maybe Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. Let's see. Pretty Peacock. There's some Pretty Peacock scraps. Pool party scraps. And what was the other one? Shaded spruce. No, not shaded spruce. What am I talking about? Lost Lagoon. There we go. I did have 4 sheets of cardstock pulled out to use, but I thought, you know what, let's just grab out the scraps because we should use up our scraps. That's why we keep them, for cutting out little bits and pieces like this, isn't it? Alrighty, so let's put all these over to the side. I love making these little scene cards. They're so much fun. Do you like making scene cards? Let me know in the comments if you like making scene cards as well. Washi tape, there we go. So we'll pop that one there. Just going to adhere that there so that stays put. And then we've got our little rocks. They can probably just sit there like that. Then we've got some of these. So I'm just thinking in the background, so this is going to be our little scene, and in the background we'll have some of these, but I don't want to take away from our little otters, so I'm wondering if the Pretty Peacock might be a bit dark, so maybe I should use these lighter colours. We'll cut some and see. We can always change our mind. Okay. So just tear that. We're not going to fit very much on this little plate. Might fit another one up there. Will we fit another one up there? Maybe. Oh, yep, there we go. Let's make sure that the die is within the plate so that it's not going off the edge. There we go. Fit as many on as we can at one time so that we're saving time. There we go. Okay, we'll take that through. So does anybody have any stories about marine animals that they would like to share? Any marine animals that you absolutely love or that you've had experiences with perhaps? So Rose said that she's seen the otters in Queensland, And do you have any stories about when you saw them, Rose? Do you remember much about the time when you saw them? There's that little log. How cute is that? That's really cute. I love that. Okay, and we've got our little rocks here. So I remember when we saw the otters, they were being fed. We went to one of the feeding sessions, and oh my goodness, they were so cute. And the keepers were in there with them, feeding them by hand. And oh my goodness, they were so adorable. And they were really gentle, actually. I thought they might get a little bit feisty, but they were really, really gentle. So I think they had been, you know, well trained. Obviously, they're in captivity, so they're trained to a certain extent. And yeah, I remember them just being so cute. I wanted to, they looked like little water pussycats. I just wanted to go and give them a cuddle. They had the sweetest little faces. And just super, super cute. I wish they had them at SeaWorld, actually. I'd love to visit them a little bit closer to home, even though SeaWorld is still a bit far away from me, but it's where my daughter works, so I can go there. I can sort of go up there whenever we want to. But Rose said they had their own enclosure, then they let them in for us to see. Ah, so cute. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, they're very sweet, aren't they? They've got the cutest little faces. I might cut those two there like that, I think. Just fit them on there together. We might do a few more rocks as well, because I'm just not sure how many rocks I'm going to need, and better to have too many to begin with than to have to pull the die cutting machine back out again. So we'll do a few extras. Oh, and I've got to do the small leaves too, don't I? Need to do that as well. Oop, there we go. And these little leaves, I might do some of those in this softer pool party. There we go. Yeah, you probably remember me, or some of you might remember me mentioning when I last went to SeaWorld, which was in June, because my last trip up to Queensland, I didn't go to SeaWorld. I don't think, did I? No, I didn't go last time. I had an experience with a seal, and it was really beautiful to meet Miles up close, and he was so beautiful and gentle and so clever. Yeah, I just really admire the keepers that look after them. They've got such a wonderful job working with those beautiful animals every single day. Yeah, it's really special. I wish I had have had those opportunities when I was younger, but I never knew that that was a thing that, you know, you could sort of do. And I guess when I was that age too, when I left school, I wouldn't have even dreamt of moving to Queensland to do something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of something we didn't really know that we had the opportunity. Well, I didn't know that I had those sorts of opportunities available to me. I don't know. I think nowadays kids just seem to have, I don't know if they have more opportunities than what we did, or just that they're more aware of the opportunities that are out there for them. What do you all think? Okay, there we go. So we've got some of those cut. I might cut some more of the little ones. Might do some more of these ones. We'll do another set of those ones. Still not set on this colour yet, if that's going to be the final decision, but I think it will look okay. I'm glad that I'm being able to use up all of these scraps though, rather than cutting into my full sheets. I think we've got enough rocks now and we only need one log. Oh, there's a couple of different sizes of these, I just realised. There's the large and the small ones. That's all right, we can cut the larger ones down if we need them a bit smaller. Okay, so we'll do another set of these. And these cut out together in the one die, but they're actually two separate pieces, which is really good. So you get the two little, aren't they cute? They'd be really nice on a floral card as well. So would these leaves. They'd be really nice on other floral cards. They wouldn't necessarily have to be used as seaweed or seagrasses. I'm just thinking too, I might do a couple of these in the darker Pretty Peacock, just in case we need a little bit more colour. So we'll do a set in that colour as well. And if we don't end up using them on this project, it's okay, we'll use them on another project. There we go. Is anybody else crafting along with me today? Let me know in the comments if you're crafting along with me today. And what are you making if you are crafting? Are you making cards? Are you doing a scrapbooking page? Perhaps you're doing some knitting or some crocheting. Let me know in the comments what you are doing, or if you're just watching, then that's okay too. I'll do one more set and then we will move on and we'll start putting everything together. So often when we're making these cards, it's in the individual elements that takes the time, and then once you start putting it together, everything sort of comes together and it's a lot quicker then. But it does pay to take the time just to make all of those little elements when you're doing scene cards, because it just makes everything so much more beautiful. And all those little details make a difference on your projects. When I was making the other, the reef card for my daughter's 30th birthday recently, it took me hours, and I really didn't know. I kind of had a vague idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the full picture of what I wanted in my head. And sometimes that's better, to just let it evolve as you're creating. I find, and you end up with something really, really beautiful. Do you do that? Do you start your creating with a full plan, or do you just play and let it evolve as you create? I don't even know how I had all of these on here now. I'm just going to stick them on, and then, oh no, that was up here, I think. And then if they don't fit, I will sort them out later when I put them on the magnet sheet. There we go. Okay, so I've got all these little pieces. Now I think some of these need a bit of extra ink. So I'm going to bring in my sponge daubers because I think they look a little bit too bland, especially the log and the rocks. So I'm going to get a little bit of, I'm not going to worry so much about the leaves. I think I'll just leave them as they are. I'm going to get my, oops, there we go. Get my warm colours out, and we want some pecan pie, and we want a little bit of early espresso, oops, and some crumb cake. There we go. All right, and the leaves I think can just stay as they are. I mean, you could add extra colour to the leaves if you want to, but all those little steps, they do take additional time. And as much as I love to add my colours, I don't kind of want to take too much longer to complete this project. Now the log, not sure, this might be a little bit too dark. going to put a little touch of early espresso over the detail of that log, just to make those patterns in the log stand out a bit more. There we go. And around the edges, just dabbing off a little bit of ink first so it doesn't get too heavy. I need to put my glasses back on. I can feel that strain in my eyes. There we go. So it just adds a little bit of texture and tone again. I love tone. I feel like it's the word of the day. Okay, so there we go. So I think that log looks a lot better now that it's got a little bit of extra colour on it. Now with the little rocks, I think we're going to use a bit of pecan pie. So this is crumb cake ink. I'll show you the difference between using the crumb cake ink and the pecan pie ink. So crumb cake on crumb cake, which is basically tone on tone, you will get a little bit of definition. So you can see there. So I'll show you, I'll do it on the paper. That's the plain one. That's the one with a bit of crumb cake ink. So just doing tone on tone. But you can see how it just adds a little bit. I'll hold it up a bit closer to the camera so you can see. See how it just adds a little bit of tone there to the rock. Makes it look more like a rock, don't you think? With a little bit of colour there added to it. I feel like we need a bit more on this side here. We can add pecan pie to one of them as well. We'll see how the difference in the, because they don't all have to be the same. See how the pecan pie looks on the rock. Okay, you might want to add a little bit more to the bottom of the rock where the dirt kind of would sit, or where it would be sitting down in the soil. There's the two different colours. Add a little bit more here. So there you go. So that's the crumb cake and that's the pecan pie on the crumb cake cardstock. So it depends on the colours that you like. Our otters are more sort of in the crumb cake type tone, so perhaps the pecan pie tone, so perhaps the crumb cake might be a bit better to have, because otherwise they might blend a little bit too much. So we might do a little bit of crumb cake on these other ones as well. So you go a bit heavier and thicker on the bottom, and then just around the top I'm just basically going around the edge just to define the edges there. I love my sponge daubers. They are my favourite colouring tool. I do love the Stampin' blends as well, but my daubers I pretty much use on most projects. And they last quite a long time too. Like, I don't really replace them super often. Depends on how much you're using them, of course, just like anything. They will break down over time. There we go. Okay, so we've got a few there. I might see if I can, not sure if I add colour to this. It's probably not going to make much difference now to just make it go darker. We might not end up using that one. Or we could tuck it in behind. Okay, there we go. All right, so I think that should be all of our little elements now for our card. There we go. Oops, that's our little rocks. The only thing we don't have is our sentiment, and I hadn't yet decided on a base. So this is going to be, let's make sure I don't have ink on my fingers as I'm doing this. Okay, so this is going to be our little scene. They're going to be sitting here like this. We're going to have a sentiment coming along here, and we're going to have the little log somewhere here too. So I'm not sure if I'll have them perhaps in front of the log like that. That looks quite cute. and then the little stones. We might even put the sentiment up the top actually and create our scene down here down the bottom, and then we might put our sentiment at the top and have our little rocks down here. Something like that. Another one up there like that. These we're going to go behind where those other reeds are, but they're probably going to need to be trimmed down because they're going to be a bit too long perhaps. We'll see how we go. So I love playing with all these little pieces like this. We could have a darker one in there as well, just to break up the colours a bit. Move that along maybe. Something like that. So I'm just laying everything down first to get an idea of what I want my scene to look like, and then we'll start adhering everything. I love the log there. The log looks great. We do need to have space for a sentiment somewhere there too. So what's everyone thinking? Are you liking this? There's lots of little pieces. I love the sets that have lots of little pieces in them that you can play around with. Makes it really fun. So, oh, Amber said very cute. Thank you. Oops, my little rocks here want to keep sticking to my fingers. Okay, so that's looking cute. I'd even put that on that side. Might actually fiddle with these once we stick everything else down, and we can just tuck them in behind, sort of thing. Yeah, that actually might look better like that. So I might have them, I'll have one of the small ones on each side kind of thing. Something like that. Oh, you're loving this card, Leslie? Thank you. Such a cute set to play around with. All right, so we're doing something like that. And then the sentiment, we still have to decide on the background layer, what colour we're going to use. And then the sentiment I wanted to use, I don't know whether to use Love You Lots or You're Otterly Amazing. We might only fit Love You Lots in here, I'm thinking. Let's see how big they are. You're Otterly Amazing. You know what? I could actually stamp the You're Otterly Amazing directly onto here and then just have it subtly in the background there. That would be, rather than do an additional label, because I want this to be the, I might do that. I might just stamp it directly onto this piece so that I've got all of this in the foreground and have that as the feature. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I might stamp it in, let's see, shall I do it in Early Espresso, or shall I do it in Pecan Pie or Crumb Cake? I wonder which colour. Which colour do you all think? Or I could even do it in, I don't want to do it in Pretty Peacock because it might be a bit too close to here. I think it needs to be in one of the brown tones. So Crumb Cake, well, you know what? I'm going to stamp it onto some scrap paper first, and then we're going to sneak the little piece of scrap paper in there, and then we can work it out from there. So if I stamp it on this corner, then we can sort of slot it in there and see which colour looks the best. Start with the lightest one. I guess I better put this on a block first, hey? That would be better. There we go. So let's see. So this is the crumb cake. Okay. Actually, I probably should have given this an additional clean because it looks a bit... where's my cleaner? There we go. It's just looking like it's repelling the ink a little bit still, so I might not have cleaned it enough. And being a sentiment, that makes a difference because it really does stand out if it doesn't stamp well. So try that again. Yeah, that's better. Anyway, that'll give us an idea of the colour. All right, and then, so that's the crumb cake. Then let's try the pecan pie. I'll stamp the pecan pie in this, dry that off first. Always dry your stamps off before you stamp them into your ink. If you've just cleaned your stamp, always just dab it onto your scrap paper before you put it into your ink. Otherwise, you're going to be, if there's still water on there from cleaning it, you're going to add that water to your ink pad and it'll dilute your colour. Ooh, I think this colour is going to look great. I think the crumb cake might look a little bit washed out actually. Dry it off. I'll try it in the early espresso. I think it's going to be the pecan pie though. Try this corner. That might be a bit, yeah, I think the early espresso might be a bit too heavy. Okay, let's see. So here's our scene. So if we have the Otterly Amazing, yeah, I think we lose that. It looks a bit washed out, doesn't it? And it's not really the right colour. Oh, it's the same colour as the rocks though. You like the pecan too, Leslie? Yeah, I think the pecan's gonna, yeah, I think the pecan's gonna tie in well, isn't it, with the log and with the otters. The early espresso actually doesn't look terrible. Actually doesn't look terrible, but I do agree with you, Leslie. I think the pecan pie is going to look the best. So, okay, let's do that. Now, hopefully I remember how I had that all laid out. And I can't take a photo of it to remind myself because I'm filming with my camera. So let's just hope I remember how I had it. Looks really cute. I'm loving how that's looking. Okay, so if I lay everything over here. So that was there, that was there. Rocks were on top. They were over there. And they were there somewhere, like that. Okay, so I'll stamp the sentiment in the pecan pie. And hope that I don't botch that up because I've got pressure. Because I've already inked this piece. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to stamp that over here. Hopefully I've got that straight. Ah, beautiful. Great. Awesome. Okay. There we go. All right, now we just need to decide on a color base. So it's going to be one of these, but I'm thinking probably one of these. I'm thinking one of these ones. Probably not. Okay, let's have a look at them one at a time. It's going to just be a 2mm border. And we'll just place our otters on there so we can see sort of the colour. Okay, so that wouldn't look too bad with the balmy blue background. That wouldn't look too bad because we've got the balmy blue in the front layer, the top layer, I should say. This is the pool party. That also wouldn't look too bad, but maybe a bit too, I don't know. It wouldn't look too bad. Then we've got the Lost Lagoon, which I think looks really awesome. We've got a lot of Lost Lagoon in the pieces that are going to be going in here as well. So that kind of will tie that in really well. So I like the Lost Lagoon. And then we've got the Pretty Peacock, which I think is too dark because you lose a lot of the detail here. See how that sort of, the darker leaves, they're blending more into the background. I mean, it's not terrible. So if that's all you had, that would still be great. But I think you lose a lot of that, the detail of the DSP there. So I think we're going to go with either the Lost Lagoon or the Balmy Blue. I actually like the Lost Lagoon. What does everyone think? Lost Lagoon or Balmy Blue? Balmy Blue does tie in with the water in this paper, in this layer here. Lost Lagoon, yeah, everyone loves the Lost Lagoon, same as me, yep. Cool, thanks ladies. Yeah, I think we'll definitely go with that one. Thank you. All right, let's trim this down to a card front. Now you could turn this into, and I do have some other ideas, you can turn this into a fancy fold card. I'm just doing an ordinary plain front landscape card. Okay, I'm just cutting this piece in half at 14.85, which is exactly half of an A4 sheet. And then I'm going to turn that on the long side and score that at 10.5. Yes, I have some other ideas for, well, one idea in particular. This has got a little bit of something on there. We'll have that on the inside where we're going to put our layer, so that'll be okay, where we put our insert. Yes, so hopefully if I'm able to get it done in this week, I'll have that to show you later in the week. But I'll have to see how I'm going for time if I get it done. Okay, here we go. Now, this is how our layers are going to look. There we go. Now, I do want to add some of the twine, or I was going to add some of the twine. And I'm just wondering now if perhaps I add the twine. Oh, set my glasses off for a minute. If perhaps, because this layer is going to be full of all of the details, I'm wondering if I add twine to this layer before I adhere it. Where is that cord that we have? So this is the Lost Lagoon soft cording. It says that it's Lost Lagoon, but it's similar to Lost Lagoon, but to me it's a little bit more, I don't know, it seems a little bit more bluish. But I was wondering about putting that on that layer. Or we have it coming down from there across the end there. And we could put that off to the side a little bit. Rather than have that centered, we could put that off to the side a little bit and have this down here. What do you think? Move that over. Oh, I'm so glad we went with the pecan pie, Leslie. That looks really good, that ink colour in the pecan pie. I think if it goes this way, it might be good because it's the same direction as all of those seagrasses. And then if we tied that there, yeah, I might just make that a bit longer. Make that a bit longer. And we will tie that here before we adhere this. All right, so I'm just going to cut this. I'm going to cut it quite long. There we go. So we've got that wrapped around there. Just going to make that a little bit longer. Now, because we are tying it around the paper, we've got to be careful that we don't pull it too tight because we don't want to bow that paper because it's not cardstock, so it's thinner and it's going to bow really easily if we pull that too tight. So I want to do some big loops. I want to see what big loops would look like. Although maybe we need smaller loops because I really don't want to take away from the image. So if we have that on there, this is going to want to do its own thing by the look of it. Look at this piece, that just wants to go wherever it wants to go. It's being a bit pedantic. I don't know. I think just a small bow. Or do we need a bow at all? Maybe we tie it in a knot. Maybe a knot would be better and have it hanging down so that it looks more like the seagrasses. We'll just have it hanging down. I have to trim it, of course. But maybe we could just do that. I'm going to have them crossed over, I think, a little bit. Just have them hanging down. I need to pull them a bit tighter. Okay, and then if we adhere that, oh, now the only thing is, because I've crossed them over, and it's quite thick, it's making that quite bulky to adhere. So, and I have to make sure I leave enough room there to put some adhesive. How is that going to stick? Is that going to be too bulky, is the question. I think if I have it in from the side a little bit, it'll be okay. As long as I don't have it too close to the edge. And then I can put that there like that. So it's still going to be okay. It's just not going to sit how I want it to sit though. Let's cut those, we'll trim those down a little bit and we'll see how they behave. Oh, they curl up. So maybe we will need to trim them a bit shorter. It's the first time I've worked with this cord, so I wasn't quite sure how it would behave. Maybe we just have it short like that. And then have that there. Yeah, what do you think of that? Yep, you like that? Okay, let's do that. All right. can play around a little bit with those. I think what I'm going to do, because I've got that cord there and I want this to adhere down really flat, I'm going to use some tear and tape on this layer, just so that I can make sure that that adheres down really well either side of the cord there. Just grab my other scissors that I use for my tape. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another piece down on this side of the cord as well, which I don't normally do, but because the cord is a bit bulky, I just want to make sure that that adheres down properly to the card. And then the rest of this piece, you could really probably use whatever adhesive you want, but I'll just continue to use the tear and tape because that's what I've used over there. So there we go. And last piece down here. Okay. All right, now we need to be careful when we adhere this because this is tear and tape and it adheres very, very strongly, and we don't want to put this in the wrong spot. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to hold that sticky part and I'm going to line everything else up first before I attach that to make sure I've got that all lined up properly and hope for the best. Okay, I've got my border around the edge. Yes, okay. So adhere that down there. Adhere that one there. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, now I can remove the rest of the tape. There we go. Oh my goodness, it's already 6 o'clock. Beautiful. Okay, good. There we go. I wonder if we can fray the ends of this cord like we do with twine. Not sure if we can. Can rough it up a little bit. I like to always separate the ends when I'm using twine, but I don't know if the cord sort of behaves in the same way or not. Not really. I can fray it a little bit. Not quite as much as what we do with twine, but can fluff it up a little bit. That's a bit better than having it just with a blunt edge, or I like to do that anyway. It just adds a little bit of texture. So just tease that out a little bit on the ends there. There we go. That gives it a little bit of texture. You probably can't really tell the difference, but it does look a bit different to having a blunt cut end. I don't know if you can see the difference there on my finger. You see the difference there? Just gives it a little bit of texture. Okay, so now we'll add this layer, and I think I'm going to add this layer up on dimensionals. I think we'll add that. I think we'll add a little bit of dimension to that one. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create my scene flat first, and then I'll put the whole thing. Oh, no worries, Rose. Thank you. I know that it's your dinner time, so all good. Thank you for being here. I'm going to create my scene here flat, and then I'll put the whole thing up on dimensionals onto the card. That'll be much easier to do it that way. All right, so we're going to pop our log down. So we'll work out the positioning of all of our bits. So we'll put the log about there. Okay, so I'll pop that about there. A little bit of glue. So it's about 1 centimetre up from the bottom. Round about there. We want to see a little bit of that water at the bottom. There we go. And then we're going to put our little otters up, and I'm going to pop them up on dimensionals. Now, the thing is too, though, we've got to put those reeds in the back. So I might do that first before we adhere the otters. Hang on, I'm just moving all of my bits over here, making a bit of space. Okay, so we had that lot and that lot. This lot was over here. This little grouping was over here. I might just trim a little bit off the bottom, just because we don't need it that long. It's being tucked down behind, and we don't want any of it to poke out under the bottom. So we'll just align all of this first, and then we can adhere it. So I think we had the dark one on this side, didn't we? And then the lighter one was on this side. This one was up higher. And actually these ones can go off the card a little bit too, because off this layer, because then it's going to be on this layer, which is much bigger. So they can be a bit taller. And then this one is down here somewhere. We had that in there and this one in here. Something like that. Something sort of like that. Okay, good. All right, so I might adhere these now before we adhere the otters. Oops, my glue is running a bit fast. So I'm going to tuck that down in there. And then we'll just put a few little dabs of glue on the back of this piece. And we'll tuck that in down there. Whoops, that slipped. There we go. So there's lots of little pieces, as I mentioned, so you can really put this together however you like. And if you want a bit more dimension on the little sea grasses, you could leave some of them sitting up, or you can use your bone folder to curl them up a little bit. They are a little bit delicate though, I noticed, these little seagrass pieces, because they're quite fine in between each of the leaves on the foliage. So just be very careful if you are shaping them or not adhering them all the way down, just in case they sort of catch on anything and get bent. Like that. I'm loving this, it's so cute. Such a cute set to play with. There we go, and one more in here. Just have that one coming up there. One good thing with these, having those fine little sections in between each of the foliage, you can slightly bend them out a little bit at angles as well. So if you don't want them to be necessarily, you know, straight, you can kind of, they do have a little bit of a curve to them, but you can kind of manipulate them a little bit more as well if you wanted to. All right, so we're going to pop the little otters up on some dimensionals. I've got my minis here, so we'll just use those. I've got to open up a new packet of my large dimensionals actually, or my regular size. Now, where's my take a pick tool? There it is. Okay, so we'll pop some of these down. Now, because we're putting these on dimensionals, we are going to have to put our rocks on dimensionals as well. I think after I finish this card, I'm going to need to have a bit of a break, have a bit of a rest, because I can feel my neck again, and I'm actually getting a headache. So I think this might end up being my only card this week. We'll see how I go. Oh, I'll have to ring up the physio again, I think, and get another treatment booked in. Can take some time to get into her sometimes. She's very, very busy. Okay, there we go. So let's pop our little otters down here on the logs. Oh, they're so sweet. Look at them. Look at their little faces. They're so cute. Okay, now our rocks are going to need to go up on dimensionals, but they might need to go up on double layers, because if you want them sitting in front of the otters, they might need to be on double layers. I do need one back here though, I feel. I think I need one back here, so I think I'll have that one at the same level as the otters. So I'll pop a little dimensional under there. Pop that one back there. And then we had this one. We'll just lay them. Oh, I've actually changed the I've moved them down a little bit to where I had them before, because I think the rocks before were meeting up with the logs, weren't they? With the log, I should say. Plural, not plural. Singular, not plural. So I have positioned them a little bit differently to how I had them originally, but that's okay. We might still have, or maybe we do the rocks like this. Might actually do the rocks just like that on that side, and then just have the log there. So we change that up a little bit to how I had it originally. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Okay, so I'm going to put, I need them to be double layers, so I'm going to have a single dimensional there where it's going to adhere there, and that little bit there is just sitting loose. So I'm actually going to slip a little piece of a little bit of glue under there, and to do that I'm going to use a little piece of paper to slip a bit of glue under there. I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on this piece of paper, and I'm just going to sneak that under there onto the rock, slide that out. Did you see how I did that? Just slid that little bit in under there. There's a little trick for you. I don't think I've shown that one before. All right, and we'll put some more dimensionals down the bottom here, and now these ones at the bottom, they're going to need to be double height, so 2 layers, because this one is going to sit on that rock, which is already up on 1 layer. And then we want these to be, these are going to be sitting on the cardstock, so they need to be up on 2 layers. Hopefully that makes sense to you all. Okay, let's just see if I can get this positioned correctly, like that. And then these ones as well. So we might have those. I might have that one being the forefront and these ones being, I don't know if they could be the same layer as the, that one actually could be the same layer as the otters, I think. Let's tuck that one in there. Like that. So we've got the 3 there, and then this little one, not quite sure where we're going to put him. Or do we just need the 3? Maybe we only need 3. I feel like there's a gap here that I want to fill though. I could actually just put that one there. I could just adhere that one to that. There, like that. I might just do that. Because I've got a dimensional in there now and I can't slip that one in any further. So, oh, I might be able to put a little edge piece. Let me grab my, where's my other sheet? No, I might cut a little edge piece from here. And I might just slip a little tiny bit of dimensional under the bottom of that and then adhere the top part to the rock above it. So just cut that little piece there. Put that along the bottom like that. And I'll put a dab of glue just here on the top. Look at me, I've got my lids of everything just laying everywhere. A bit messy today, aren't I? Things everywhere. There we go. And then we'll just slip that in here. Hopefully I can get that in just there. Like that. There we go. Cute. So the rocks aren't in exactly the spot that I had them originally, but I think they still look good. What do you think? Do you think they look okay there like that? I feel like I want to put an extra one here though. I can't really put another one there. I need another small one. Yeah. I think we'll just leave it like that. I think that'll be fine. There we go. Okay, so now this whole scene I will pop up on dimensionals. I will go and grab, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to use some of my dimensionals from some of my kits that are left over. Now they are a little bit higher in dimension to the standard dimensionals, so I make sure that I get one sheet that has enough on it that are all the same. Sometimes some of the dimensionals in the kits, they're a bit higher. So you don't want to mix and match them with your standard dimensionals. So these ones, which are the standard height of minis, sit a little bit lower than these. So you wouldn't want to mix them together on the same, like if you're doing the same layer. But because I'm doing it on the back, I can use, so long as I use all of these ones that are the same height, it won't matter. Whoops. And that'll save me opening up a brand new packet. So I don't need to, I can just use these ones up. Oops. There we go. Now this is our focal piece, so we want to make sure that there's not going to be any saggy bits. So we want to make sure that we add lots of dimensionals to support the whole thing. There we go. Okay. Oops. Oops, make sure we put it on the right way up. Now, because we've got the twine up there, I'm just going to put it down a little bit lower. The twine can go over there. Well, we can have it centered actually. We can sort of have it centered with the border that we have there. I was going to put it down at a little bit of a, towards the bottom corner, but I think we can have it centered. So we'll put it there, like that. There we go. And then we have to add our little pearls, which we didn't add yet. How cute is it? It's so adorable. Oh my goodness, those little otters, they're so cute. And I think it's good to have the two different colour otters, because if they were the same colour, they would really blend in together, wouldn't they? All right, and we've got these little pieces left over, and I've got this strip, so we can use them to decorate the inside of the card as well, which I won't do on my video today because the video's already gone quite long, but I will put a white insert on the inside. I'll probably do a little bit of blending around the edges of the white cardstock on the inside, and then I'll decorate with these little pieces that I've got left over. But let's use some of these little... what are they called again? Riverside irregular pearls. Riverside pearls. Just deciding which colours I like. Which colour do I like the best to use with this one? Oh, that one shows up really nicely. Let's use some of these. So use a large one and small one there, and then we could put another small one. Oh, there we go. Look, we can fill in that space with another small one there. There we go. See, it was made just for that little pearl. There we go. So you can add more of those riverside pearls if you want to, but I think 3 is plenty. And any of those colours would have been beautiful, but I just love how that offsets everything. So there you go. So what do you think? Do you like that? Isn't that just so cute? So make sure that you check out the Otterly Awesome Suite. Oh, no, Otterly Adorable. Hang on, let me get the right name. Otterly... What is it? Otterly Adorable. Otterly Adorable Suite in the online exclusives from the 5th of November. Now, they will be available while supplies last. Everything in the online exclusives is available while supplies last. So if they're really popular, they'll keep them around for longer. If they've been around for a while, they might sell out. So these ones should be around for a little while. But because these might be really popular, they might go unorderable. So you might have to either jump in quickly or you might need to wait a little while. But that is, yeah, really, really cute. I just think they're so adorable. Look at them. So there we go. Yeah, I will do the inside, but I won't do it now because I've taken up enough of your time. So I'm just going to quickly flip the camera back to face to say goodbye to you in person, as I always like to do. So let me just do a little flippity flip. I did forget to mention that if you are shopping with me, be sure to use my host code that you see down on the desktop. If your order is over $75, you will get a thank you gift from me. And, oops, there we go. And you will also get, every order gets a thank you card from me as well. So you can look forward to that and watch for that in your letterbox if you have shopped with me. There we go. All right. Okay, so remember those beautiful new products are all coming out on the 5th of November. So that's from tomorrow. And this is just one of the suites that is available. So there's, I think there's the 2 suites, and then there's a whole heap of individual products that are available as well. But there's the card up close. Just so cute, those little otters. And you can sort of see the sparkle of the pearls. They're iridescent. I think you'd call them iridescent. They've got all these different colours coming off them. So really, really cute. So make sure you check that out, whether or not you just get the designer series paper, or you might want to get the stamp set and the dies as well. If you're getting the stamp set, definitely get the dies. And even if you're getting the paper, you might want to consider getting the dies, unless you love fussy cutting. Then you can fussy cut out those little otters and the scenes as well. If there's anything I can help you with, please feel free to let me know. If you've got any questions, then I would be happy to answer them for you. So yeah, just have fun. I hope that you get some crafting in this week. I will be back again, or the plan is to be back again next Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And I hope you all have a wonderful week, and take care of yourself. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week. All right, as I always say, happy crafting, everyone. Bye.